What's up guys, Cody here, and today I'm bringing you guys a game of Domination on Karachi. This is Modern Warfare 2, obviously. I don't know why, but this is one of people's least favorite maps on this game for some strange reason. This is one of my more liked maps, not really one of my favorites, but I do like this map. I have fun on it pretty much every time I play it. I always seem to do pretty decent on it, so... I can't remember what my score is going to be, but I guess we'll see at the end, hopefully. I had a pretty big topic for this commentary, guys. Basically, the topic is death, dying, and more death. So, sounds like a pretty negative commentary, but there was a few stories I wanted to tell you guys, and it was nothing in my personal life. No stories about my personal life this time, but maybe sometime later I'll tell you guys some stories. But these stories are just things that have happened in the world, and maybe you guys haven't heard of a few of them, and thought maybe you guys would be interested in hearing them. I got two stories. I think there's two different stories, but they're actually kind of sad. But one of them's pretty one of them's kind of like funny, like no offense to the person that was, you know, dead afterwards, but kind of makes you chuckle, you know. But anyway, there's this new TV show I've been watching lately, and it's called 1,000 Ways to Die. It's not really a new TV show. I think it was back in like 2008 that they started airing it, but I was on Netflix one night and I came across it and I started watching it, and then I started watching it more, and then I couldn't stop watching it. So yeah, you know, it's just one of those things. 1,000 Ways to Die. Anyway, that's one of the stories that I want to, or one of the stories on there that I want to tell after the first one I tell you guys right now. There was this baseball fan that was at a baseball game with his son. And I don't know how old his son was. I think his son was, I know he was at least below 12 years old, possibly below 10. Anyway, this happened at the Texas Rangers Stadium, which is actually only less than an hour drive from where I live. I live in a small town called Midlothian, and it's a small town. Anyway, this man, 39-year-old man, was at a baseball game with his son, and it turns out one of the Texas Ranger players, Josh Hamilton, actually tossed a foul ball into the stands, or almost into the stands, near where this guy was. And the guy actually had tried to lean out and catch the ball for his son, and the guy ended up losing balance over the rail, and he ended up falling 20 feet down out of the stands and actually hitting his head on concrete. And the baseball people, I don't know what they're called, the people that do the commentating for baseball, they were thinking he was going to be okay, and they didn't think too much of it, but he was actually fully conscious when he hit the ground, and he was transported out by a stretcher on an ambulance and to the closest hospital. And he was actually pronounced dead at the hospital less than an hour after he fell. And the paramedics actually said that the first thing the guy asked them when they came over there was to check on his son and make sure his son is okay. So, really, really terrible things, you know, really, really sad story. Very, very tragic. I think I really feel worse for his son, to be honest. His son had to watch his father tumble over the stands and fall 20 feet, hitting his head on the concrete. And it's pretty tragic thing. But that happened on July 7th. The dad was actually a 39-year-old firefighter, and he had been working for the fire department for 18 years. Anyway, that's that story. I'm gonna move on to some stories that might not be so sad. Anyway, about the TV show I've been watching. I've been watching a show called 1,000 Ways to Die, and it sounds like a really strange show, and it kind of is, but it's pretty freaking crazy. Like, some of the deaths are actually kind of funny, like, not to be sound like a douche, but some of them just, the truth is, some of the deaths are just funny. But anyway, one of the deaths. I'm gonna start off with one that wasn't so funny. I don't remember where this happened, but it did tell you where this happened, but I don't remember. There was this guy that he was a middle-aged man. He was probably in his 30s or 40s. He was under his truck, and he was working on his truck. I'm not sure what he's doing to it, but he had really like the top half of his body under his truck, like from his like shoulders up under his truck, just laying on the ground. And this 18-wheeler, those of you that don't know what that is, hopefully you know what that is. Big rig, 18-wheeler, one of the big diesel trucks, you know. This 18-wheeler came up and parked right next to where this guy was. And the 18-wheeler driver, I'm going to call it a big rig, the big rig driver got out of his truck and he heard someone screaming like bloody murder. And the big rig driver actually went around the other side of his truck and looked. And to his surprise, he had ran over the guy that was working on his truck. And the guy's body was literally severed in half from his waist down. What had happened, the big rigger did not see the guy working on his truck laying down on the ground, and the guy parked right next to the truck, not knowing that he was there, and he actually ran over the guy from his waist down and had just severed the bottom half of his body off. And it's really, really gruesome death. The guy was actually alive for nearly 10 minutes after, you know, he was decapitated. Is that what you call it? Decapitated? I don't know. After his lower body was gone, he was actually alive for 10 minutes just screaming bloody murder. I can't even think of a worse way to die than that right there, probably. You know, just being alive for that long after you probably, like, not even probably, you just want to die as soon as you can when something like that happens. You don't want to be alive, so, you know, just, I don't know, it's a horrible death, but one of the crazy ones that I saw on this show. On to the next one. This one's more funny, more or less funny of a story. By the way, I'm not even talking about this gameplay at all, so who cares, but anyway, there was this guy who was a door salesman. If you guys don't know what that is, it's this guy or a salesman that goes door to door and just sells you things. So this door salesman sold weight loss products, and what the thing was, he wasn't really a door salesman. He made himself seem like he was, and what he actually was a guy that preferred larger women. No offense if any larger women are watching this. I hope you don't take offense to that, but that's just what this guy liked, larger women. In other words, he was a chubby chaser. Anyway, this guy, what he did, instead of actually selling the weight loss products to the larger women, he would actually go door to large women's houses and try and get intimate with them, and try and you know, get it on with them. I guess that's the best way to say it. I'm trying to make this the most appropriate as possible, but anyway, he went into this one lady's house, and he got all down with her, and they were, you know, having a good time in bed or whatever, and the lady had actually had a stroke right on top of him, and she passed out, blacked out, right on top of this guy, and the guy ended up suffocating because he couldn't breathe because she was on top of her and she had passed out. That's pretty much the story, and the guy suffocated and died, and the lady woke up later and she saw what happened, and she was probably feeling pretty, you know, bad about herself, I guess. But anyway, that's that story. This gameplay is over. I just thought you guys might have enjoyed a few of these stories. Don't forget to rate, and I'll see you guys later.